everybody. Welcome to the Unofficial Fan Lounge. This is a new podcast focused on the United Football League and is appearing on the feed of this podcast as uncalled for. My name is Mike Chernevsky, and I will be the host of this podcast, as well as this podcast is uncalled for. So this podcast is about the United Football League. Play is about to start this weekend, March 28th. And let's get started. So we're just going to pick games in this episode for week 1 of the season. And we'll do this every week during the duration of the season. And I also want to do team profiles on each of the 8 teams. And I understand that there will be the possibility of expansion coming up. And if expansion teams are announced, we'll do team profiles on them. But for now, let's get to week 1 of the 2025 UFL season. We start Friday night, 7 p.m. Local time, I guess. This will be the St. Louis Battlehawks at the Houston Roughnecks. This is a game that's going to be played at the University of Houston Stadium. Last year, the Roughnecks played at Rice University's stadium. So they'll be moving just a few miles to the east of where they were. The Roughnecks played at University of Houston during the XFL years, and they are. This is a homecoming of sorts. Houston was 1-9 last year in the first year of the UFL. That's pretty bad. Worst team in the league. Despite that, they kept their coaches and overhauled their rosters quite a bit. We'll see how that goes. On the flip side, you have the Battlehawks, 7-3 last year, made the playoffs, lost in the XFL Conference Championship. But I have a good feeling this year. In case it's not obvious yet, I am a St. Louis Battlehawks fan. And I am, at least for this game, I'm not going to go the entire season, but at least for this game, I'm going to pick the Battlehawks to win. Not comfortable giving a score predictions, but I think they're going to win. I think even though they're going to be looking at Wilkins and Dugan at quarterback, I think there's plenty of talents on the Battlehawk roster that will sort out itself. And Houston, like I said, worst team in the league last year. I don't expect it to get that much better this year. But prove me wrong. That's why we play the game, right? So game number 1, Battlehawks. Game number 2 will be Saturday night, Saturday afternoon rather, at 3 p.m. The San Antonio Brahmas and the Arlington Renegades, and we played at the prison of Arlington. I'm sorry if you don't want me making that joke. Don't build a ballpark that looks more like a maximum security penitentiary than it does a ballpark. San Antonio was 7-3 last year and played in the UFL Championship, getting shut out in the UFL Championship. So there's nothing to sneeze at. Arlington 3-7 last year. Quite, I would say, snake bitten, especially early in the season. They didn't do too well. But I think San Antonio's return much of the same team they did last year. There is a change at quarterback. Mund is the new QB for San Antonio. Perez continues to be the QB for Arlington. I'm expecting a close one with this one, but I will give a slight edge to San Antonio simply because of how well they did last year. So Brahmas in that game. Then we have two Sunday games. The first one, 11 a.m. Michigan Panthers at Memphis Showboats. Michigan was 7-3 last year. A very sneaky 7-3. Nobody really expected them to do as well as they did. And Memphis was 2-8. And by the way, both of those wins were against Houston. That's how bad they were. The Showboats, they just lost their coach, Ken Wisenhunt, who was just fired this offseason to turn the team around. But 1 week before the season even started, he steps down, citing personal reasons. And so they will be going in with a new coach and new everything. They got E.J. Perry, who was with Michigan last year, as one of their quarterbacks. I expect him to be the starter for the Showboats. And hopefully they address their offensive line, because that was a big weakness for them last year. Michigan, again, sneaky good team last year. Solid defense. They'll have to do it without Jake Bates kicking, because he graduated to the NFL. And it's being played in Memphis. Now, Memphis did lag behind the rest of the league attendance-wise last year, averaged just over 6,000 a game. But my understanding is that over this offseason, the league really made an effort to do community outreach and get the word out about this team in Memphis. So hopefully that pays off, and there are more people in the yacht club, as I like to call themselves. But again, I'm going to pick Michigan to win this game. I'm not sure. I expect the Showboats to improve this year, but I'm not going to put a whole lot of faith into that until they show me something. So Michigan to win that game. And then the last game of the day, 2 p.m. on Sunday. The defending champion Birmingham Stallions at DC Defenders. So right off the bat, we got the beer snake going. DC also had a coaching change this past week. Barlow took the head coach job at Tennessee State, which was vacated by Eddie George, the star running back in the day for the most notably the Tennessee Titans. And they'll have to make do with a new coach. Of course, Birmingham, they must be doing something right, because 3 titles in a row, the 2 USFL titles and now a UFL title, so they must be doing something right. They bring in back all most of their key players, except for Martinez. He got his shot in the NFL with the Jets. So it'll be interesting to see how they do, and if they can four-peat. I personally hope they don't, but like I said for years and years, when the Patriots were good, you gotta pick them until they prove otherwise. So I will pick Birmingham to win this game, and disappoints a bunch of beer snake holding guys. So there you have it. Basically all the road teams I have winning this week. So St. Louis over Houston, San Antonio over Arlington, Michigan over Memphis, and Birmingham over DC. And that will do it for week 1 of the United Football League season. We will be back each week updating, sharing my thoughts on how the previous week went, and giving my picks for the upcoming week. And we'll see about doing team profiles as well. These will come out every Thursday during the UFL season, so keep an eye out for that. And they will stay on the Uncalled For RSS feed until I feel we've gotten to a point that it can have its own feed. But for now, it'll be here with Uncalled For. And speaking of Uncalled For, please continue to support this podcast. Is Uncalled For. We have over 100 episodes already, and we're in the last days of producing season 9 of the podcast. So thank you, and we will talk to you next week.